Be the Englishman the Japanese think you are. Be the German the Japanese think you are. Be the Italian the Japanese think you are. These ones are so famous I forget they're not actually real. Be the French the Japanese think you are. Be the wait a minute. They're gonna have to roll out some updates for that country. This just makes me wonder why they make all our characters in America overly American. I mean, I guess you could say Mario and Luigi are kind of overly Italian. The only possible scenario, New Zealand could beat the US. On one side, we have all of New Zealand's current army equipment, and on the other, we have the US Coast Guard. Honestly, I'm not really sure. So in this scenario, the entirety of the New Zealand army would heavily outnumber the US Coast Guard, probably giving them the win. There's also 200 heavy trucks not in the picture. Ooh. So all these islands have to do is pray our Army, Navy, Air Force, and Space Force just randomly disappear. And then we'll finally see what true New Zealand power really looks like. Kind of a little afraid. I freaking love the aesthetic of a slightly fantastical turn of the century Europe. Why do I feel like there's been so many forms of media that have come to like represent this too? Oh wait, this is basically, what's that called? This is basically just steampunk, isn't it? You just love steampunk. And pretty much kind of like all these movies. I can't help but imagine the European continent must have been kind of magical before any of the world wars took place. I mean, I'm romanticizing it a lot, but you know, maybe, as long as you weren't thrown in the coal mines or something. Ah yes, the European coffee consumption map. It appears that it's all Nordic. The Nordic love coffee like way too much. They should probably think about maybe limiting their intake here or something. I mean, that just can't be good for you. Why are they so anti-tea up there? Oh, that's a good point. Video game ratings in America, or basically if your kids can play it, versus video game ratings in Europe. I'll be honest, it took me like 20 years to figure out what Peggy 7 meant, or Peggy 18. I had no idea that was like the rating system Europe had. I just remember hearing so much rated E for everyone. When did we get this many? I do not remember having this many. One thing's for sure, just purely based on icons themselves, a lot more aesthetically pleasing. Well, I suppose I'm about to be sent to Poland. But you know, Ukraine seems cool too. I guess I'm okay with either option. Wait, what? No! Yeah, one thing's for sure, if I was a tank, I definitely wouldn't want to be sent there. I'm just gonna melt under the sun. I guess this meme is technically about something else though. That's depressing. What if China froze the Taiwan Strait? They could drop thousands of liquid nitrogen filled tankers into the strait, freezing it instantly. Then they'll be able to drive tanks and troops across. This would also make America's naval supremacy meaningless. God dang it. They figured it out. It's over. For years, we always assumed the Chinese would never figure out all they needed was like millions or billions of liquid nitrogen tankers. You just can't pull a fast one on them though. The United States and Japan should prepare for war with China. Meanwhile, the ghost of MacArthur randomly reappearing. He definitely has a plan for this. We told him no the first time, but I guess we could try it the second time. Basically, he's just gonna let the nukes fly, I guess. It was known as the nuclear solution during the Korean War. He literally just wanted to nuke this territory into oblivion so the Chinese couldn't help the North Koreans. Bold strategy, Cotton. I will say that would have been a very interesting sea we would have gotten in this universe. This table lets people from Slovakia, Austria, and Hungary eat lunch together without crossing the border. Finally, something to make all sides happy. They can get close, just not too close. Crossing the border would be a little too close for comfort. Imagine this with Bosnia, Serbia, and Croatia. You are on this council, but we do not grant you the rank of real Balkan country. This is an outrage. It's unfair. It's especially unfair for them considering that Portugal is considered a real Balkan country. I think they were the most recent country to be granted this beautiful title. When the four countries who do not geographically belong to the Balkans meet each other in real life. There's Romania, there's Turkey, there's Hungary, and finally there's Slovenia. And I feel like there's more than just this too. We could probably include like a lot more for a bigger battle royale. Even just Googling Balkan countries, there's a very big difference between geographically Balkan and culturally. Haha, Mussolini was Hitler's dog. Mussolini created fascism. The Italian Empire was a joke. Roman Britain was best Britain. Hey, I heard you were missing your Ferrari. Oh yeah, that's right. It's at my house. Give it back, you freaking... You're the real reason why we lost in WW2. Why can't your country have a good military? We defeated both you and Austria in WW1. You couldn't even beat us in a war with your failed army, says Greece. You couldn't even keep your people happy or your economy alive. Russian food is best food. You pasta eater. I don't know how many more I can do. Italian food is best food. Italians? Okay, I can't even say what Italy responded back with. Spain is the true gem of Southern Europe. We should have colonized you guys a long time ago. Shut up, you lazy. Excuse me, I'm Italian too. Why is it so easy to trigger Italy? I think it's interesting because there are so many memes that meme France. It always feels like France never responds. Like, this is pretty much how I imagine they react to all the memes. And then there's Italy on the other hand. This is my neighbor Portugal, and he's pain in butt. I have great food, he has great food. I'm good at football, he's good at football. I develop into Western European country. He cannot afford. Great success, says Spain. They were so close. They had all the other things down. I feel like this pretty much has been their history since like the beginning of time. Your colonialism bad, my colonialism justified. Pretty much Poland's only response to this conversation. They really do kind of get like a really giant pass when it comes to this. I guess just because they're history. Is it really colonialism if you do it on your own continent? Which Nordic country has the best nature? Maybe Denmark? Or Iceland, perhaps? Sweden is, of course, also good. But Norway has some great mountains, though Finland might still be the best. Very, very tough. You have been fooled. Every single one of these photos have actually been taken in the great superior Sweden. Just another dub for this Nordic country, I guess. You see, if you simply steal your neighbor's lands and then claim their culture and landscape as your own, then you too can... I'm just gonna stop. I think those first two images were made by Swede, and this last one, I don't know, somebody else. Actually, no, this could still definitely be made by Swede. He's just proud of it. I'm trying to be the best Latino representation for you, says Disney's Primos. What? What is that? Not heard of that show before. Meanwhile, her response, the best Latino representation is already here. There's a reason why one of the autocomplete for why is Mexico so blank, I think one of them is like, why is Mexico so obsessed with Dragon Ball Z? But I think that love translates through all of Latin America. Top two options, Goku and Dragon Ball Z. This is my neighbor. He is pain in butt. I speak Spanish. He speaks Spanish. I play football. He plays football. I have a stable democracy. He does not. Great success, says Uruguay. Aw, now the son of Argentina is a little bit sad now. Also, you know what, Uruguay? You didn't lose the Falcons either. That's like another thing you can maybe note. I like how this map has like Argentinian claims, but the dark green is... it's what they have. This is literally from Wikipedia. Just because I'm German doesn't mean I like hiking. I mean, I do like hiking, but not because I'm German. This has actually been a recent discovery for me, the fact that Germans are obsessed with hiking. Like, I never put it together how many memes and videos I've seen of Germans hiking. What is this question? Do Germans like going for walks? Answer, walking is the oldest and most popular form of movement. This was definitely written by Germany. With an 80% of Germans like or even enjoy walking. The train leaves at 20:30. Meanwhile, in the UK, okay. And then there's in the USA. What does that mean? Is it military time or something? I have definitely said this many times before. That's why I've actually just turned my phone into military time so I can understand these numbers a bit more. It seems like most of the world does this. Actually, the only countries that use AM and PM are the US, Canada, except Quebec, Australia, New Zealand, and the Philippines. Bulgarian man arrested for flag incident at this harbor. A 35-year-old Bulgarian man was arrested after he lowered the Greek flag from a mast in the harbor while then proceeding to hoist a Bulgarian flag and apparently yelling, "This is Bulgaria." Least patriotic Bulgarian. Shrek compared to the Netherlands. Both are tall, both live in swamps, both speak weirdly accented English. Who could have guessed Shrek was actually Dutch this whole time? He was definitely living in the Netherlands and telling people to get out. Not much of a fan of the tourists, I guess. Who could have guessed this is actually the real way to watch Shrek? Gotta watch it in Dutch, of course. Only 13 episodes, almost no dialogue. Somehow becomes the biggest British cultural export since colonialism that's still loved by everyone worldwide. I am always shocked there's actually only 13 Mr. Bean episodes. Why does it feel like it went on for 11 seasons? This is really the last great form of British colonialism before it all collapsed. Noah looking at France and the Netherlands saying, "What the hell is this?" Meanwhile, it's whatever the heck Belgium is. I think there should be a little bit of German in there too. I know I've also described Switzerland as a Frankenstein nation, but those people are really united by their geography at the same time, or united by the Alps. Belgium doesn't really have that same thing. I think for me, it's definitely way more surprising that Belgium exists, not Switzerland. China, which can cook and eat almost any meat produced by nature, versus India, which can cook and eat almost anything veg by nature. When an immovable object meets an unstoppable force, that's basically what this part of Asia has given us. It's quite explosive. Big thanks to my patrons. Destiny 9000. Drew needs to pay his taxes.
Why am I doing
this?
JohnDenver,
I'm the kidnapper.
Jack
Traven's annoying friends.
InquisitorXarius,
Carmel
Caleb,
Saida is real. I am not a paid actor.
LuxembourgLover,
Patrick
RyeThePie,
subscribe to
TheGreatRalphy,
Mexican 716.
Twickenhamster.
Become a patron by checking the description down below.